Herzlich willkommen bei whisky.de, dem Treffpunkt feiner Geister. Und hinter mir sieht man schon so Inseln und Küste und Nebel und leichter Niesel ist hier auch. Es ist mal wieder ein sehr, sehr schottisches Wetter, obwohl wir haben heute keinen Wind, also fehlt eigentlich ein bisschen was. Und zwar bin ich an der Ostküste der Insel Islay, und zwar bei Bunnahabhain, was so viel bedeutet wie Flussmündung. Es gibt hier so einen kleinen unterirdischen Fluss, der hier mündet, und deswegen heißt das Ganze hier Bunnahabhain. Ja, wir haben heute aber natürlich nicht nur diesen Flussmündung und diese kleine Bucht hier im Visier, sondern wir schauen uns die Bunnahabhain Distillery an. Viel Spaß dabei! Die Geschichte von Bunnahabhain fängt 1881 an. Damals wurde die Brennerei gebaut. 2 Jahre später, 1883, ist die Brennerei dann fertig geworden, hat dann die Produktion aufgenommen und es hat sich sogar ein kleines Dorf um die Brennerei drum gebildet. Also ja, das ging dann eigentlich relativ gut und über die Jahre hinweg produzierte die Brennerei relativ fröhlich. 1930 gab es mal eine kleine Produktionspause, aber 1963 lief das Ganze dann so gut, dass die Brennerei dann angefangen hat, ihre Produktion zu erhöhen und hat dann von 2 Stills auf 4 Stills erweitert. Also hat einfach ihre Produktion verdoppelt. 1999 ist die Brennerei dann übergegangen in den Besitz des Edrington Trust. Also es ist zu einer, im Grunde Teil Edrington geworden. Das ist so eine wohltätige Organisation. Später wurde die Brennerei dann noch an Distell verkauft. Das ist ein südafrikanischer großer Spirituosenkonzern, und die besitzen die Brennerei immer noch, und die haben jetzt 2019 auch wieder eine Erweiterung gemacht. Diesmal ging es aber eher um ein neues Visitor Center, und wir werden sonst auch mal ein bisschen schauen, was so alles sich getan hat, seitdem ich 2015 das letzte Mal da war. Die Brennerei Bunnahabhain hat eine ganze Menge Kapazität für die Lagerung von Malz. Sie hat sogar eine größere Kapazität als die Port Ellen Maltings. Das kommt daher, dass sie früher nur mit Schiff beliefert wurden und das etwas unzuverlässig war, wann man wie viel Malz bekommen hat. Und deswegen wurde die Kapazität hier etwas größer aufgebaut. Und man muss sich vorstellen, sie wurden nur mit Schiff beliefert. Und es gab noch gar keine Straßen hier zur Brennerei. Also das war eine ganz, ganz andere Situation. Und die Malt Bins von damals sind immer noch gut und werden auch immer noch genutzt. Und es ist sehr praktisch für die Brennerei, dass sie einfach eine viel größere Kapazität hat. Es sind mehrere verschiedene Malt Bins. Das ist auch sehr praktisch, weil man dann die verschiedenen Maltings, also die verschiedenen Malze, die man getorft und ungetorft bekommt, natürlich einzeln lagern kann. Die Brennerei hat ist eine der wenigen Brennereien, die getorften und ungetorften Whisky machen. Sie sagen, zurzeit bekommen sie so 60% ungetorftes Malz, 40% getorftes Malz. Früher war es ganz anders. Ganz früher waren sie natürlich, wie jede Islay-Brennerei, sehr, sehr torfig. Es hat sich dann über die Jahre hinweg geändert. Als sie viel bei der Blendindustrie waren, hatten sie dann komplett umgestellt auf ungetorften Whisky. Aber das ist dann irgendwann, als sie dann gemerkt haben, okay, wir wollen nicht mehr mit der Blendindustrie zusammenarbeiten. Dieses ganze Thema, früher waren sie noch bei Cutty-Sark beim Blend. Heutzutage haben sie noch einen kleinen Blendanteil mit dabei, mit der Black Bottle, die zu ihrem Konzern gehört. Aber zurzeit ist es eher Single Malt Bunnahabhain Scotch Whisky. Und dafür stehen sie dann auch wieder ein bisschen mehr ein, dass sie sagen, okay, sie gehen ein bisschen mehr zu ihren Wurzeln zurück und fangen auch wieder an mit mehr getorften Whiskys. Das Ganze fängt dann an, wenn wir dieses getorfte oder ungetorfte Malz haben, in dieser alten Porteous Mill von 1964, und da werden dann in Batches das Malz grob geschrotet, um es bereit zu machen für die Produktion. Die Mash-Tun bei Bunnahabhain ist wirklich massiv groß, ist so ein bisschen der Zeitzeuge, als sie noch ja, in der Blendindustrie waren. Heutzutage bräuchten sie eigentlich eine viel kleinere Mash-Tun, da sie nicht mehr nur noch auf Masse gehen, sondern auf Qualität. Und sie haben sogar die Menge an Gerstenschrot, den sie verwenden, runtergefahren von 15 Tonnen auf 8,5 Tonnen Gerstenschrot und daraus entstehen dann 35.000 Liter an Wort oder auch Maische. Wenn man so eine große Mash-Tun hat, muss man das mit 4 Waschwassern machen, wobei 2 am Ende dann als Recyclingwasser verwendet werden, weil es ja für so eine große Mash-Tun ist das einfach das Übliche. Sie haben aber trotzdem, obwohl sie die Menge runtergefahren haben, haben sie ihre Produktion nicht reduziert, sondern sie machen einfach jetzt das Ganze öfter pro Woche. Also diese 8,5 Tonnen werden jetzt 24 Mal pro Woche gemacht und sie sind in einem 24 Stunden und 7 Tage die Woche Betrieb. Also eine ganze Menge, was hier gemacht wird. Interessant ist auch noch, was sich geändert hat, als ich das letzte Mal da war, ist, dass sie den Treber, den entstehen, also das, was übrig bleibt, wenn man den Zucker und die Stärke aus dem Schrot ausgewaschen hat, bleiben ja noch die Hüllen und die Proteine übrig. Und das wird jetzt zum Großteil auch schon eingesetzt in einem Biomassereaktor, den sie ja auf dem Hügel gebaut haben. Und dort wird dann Energie für die Brennerei hergestellt. Sie brauchen nicht alles davon, es wird nur 50% des Trebers in die Biomasse eingespeist. Die anderen 50% gehen so ja, wieder immer noch ganz normal ihren Weg zu den Kühen und Farmen hier in der Umgebung. Die Brennerei hat 6 riesige Washbags mit 100.000 Litern Volumen aus Oregon Pine. Und ja, das sind massiv große Behälter. Sie werden aber nur mit 70.000 Litern, also 2 Mash-Tuns befüllt und fermentieren für ca. 55 Stunden. Nach ca. 40 bis 44 Stunden ist die alkoholische Fermentation abgeschlossen. Das Wash, was da drin ist, behält seine 8% Alkohol, aber es entstehen noch viel mehr Geschmäcker während einer laktobakteriellen Fermentation, die durch die Bakterien im Holz verbessert wird oder verstärkt wird. Und das gibt dem Bunnahabhain die Ausgangssituation mit einem fruchtigen, zitrusartigen Geschmacksbier, was dann perfekt ist für die Destillation. Das Stillhouse von Bunnahabhain ist wirklich eine Pracht. Mit so schön riesigen Stills, so schön birnenförmig. Es ist wirklich einzigartig. Die Washstills haben zwar eine Kapazität von über 30.000 Litern, werden aber nur mit 17.500 Litern Wash befüllt. Und da geht es auch ein gutes Stückchen darum, dass sie nicht einfach nur drauf losbrennen und Maximum Ausput haben, sondern dass es sich wirklich eine schöne Alkoholsäule mit Dampf bilden kann, dass sie sich gut trennen kann und dass man wirklich die guten Bestandteile, nur die man haben will, im Rohbrand von Bunnahabhain wirklich da haben will. Das gilt vor allem für die kleineren Spirit Stills, die mit 10.000 Litern, also kleineren Spirit Stills mit 10.000 Litern befüllt werden, weil dort da wirklich die Geschmäcker getrennt werden. Und die Cuts bei Bunnahabhain sind natürlich auch so gesetzt, dass sie nicht mehr für die Blendindustrie geeignet sind, sondern nur noch für die Single Malt Industrie. Also, wir haben 17.500 Liter pro Washstill, das heißt 4 Läufe einer Washstill, bis ein Washbag leer gelaufen ist. Und pro Washbag sagt man ungefähr 10.000 Liter Rohbrand, also schon eine ganze Menge. Und das addiert sich dann alles auf und wir kommen dann auf 3,5 Millionen Liter reinem Alkohol pro Jahr. Das war damals ein bisschen weniger, als ich das letzte Mal noch da war. Das liegt aber einfach daran, dass sie jetzt gesagt haben, wir arbeiten 7 Tage die Woche und nicht mehr nur noch 5 Tage die Woche. Da kommt einfach eine ganze Menge mehr Output bei rum. Und das ist schön, weil wir haben dann mehr Rohbrand und in einer etwas längeren Zeit, wo der Whisky dann gelagert wurde, gibt es natürlich dann mehr Bunnahabhain-Angebot auf dem Markt und die Preise sind nicht so schlimm am Steigen. Ja, der Charakter, den Bunnahabhain haben will, ist leicht, Zitrus, fruchtig. Das ist so ihren Charakter, den sie für Bunnahabhain auserkoren haben. Ja, und der wird dann noch weiter veredelt im Lagerhaus. Die Lagerhäuser von Bunnahabhain sind voll mit Sherry. Und es ist wirklich, Bunnahabhain passt einfach mit Sherry wunderschön zusammen. Es gibt hier und da irgendwo mal auch noch ein paar Bourbonfässer, die stehen hier überall mal so ein bisschen rum. Und es gibt ein paar Abfüllungen, die haben Bourbonfässer drin, aber der meiste Whisky von Bunnahabhain wird in Sherryfässern abgefüllt. Es gibt ihm einfach so eine wunderschöne Süße zusammen mit dem Rauch. Ja, einfach wunderschön. Ich erzähle euch heute mal einfach mal ein bisschen was anderes. Und zwar rede ich mal ein bisschen über diese Bungs, also diese Fassstöpsel. Denn Fässer werden ohne Stöpsel angeliefert oder mit alten Stöpseln angeliefert. Und Stöpsel werden jedes Mal, wenn ein Fass ausgeleert wird oder wieder befüllt wird, wird ein Stöpsel immer wieder ersetzt. Es liegt einfach daran, dass der Stöpsel ist die Schwachstelle jedes Fasses. Wer öfters mal durch so die Lagerhäuser durchgelaufen ist und gesehen hat, dass ein Fass nicht mit dem Stöpsel nach oben ist, sieht immer, ah ja, beim Stöpsel kommt gerne mal was raus, und man sieht auch hin und wieder, dass beim Stöpsel so gewisse Spuren dran sind. Also der Stöpsel ist wirklich das Problem, was es bei Fässern gibt. Vor allem, wenn sich dann irgendwelche Companies entscheiden, das Ganze auf palettierten Warehouses zu machen, weil da so viel mehr reingeht, merkt man, bei stehenden Fässern ist der Stöpsel wirklich ein großes Problem. Ja, die Stöpsel sind nicht genormt, und ich habe hier zum Beispiel einen 2 1/4, einen 2 1/2 und einen 2 5/8, also ein Achtel mehr als 2 1/2. Und die sind dann für verschiedene Fässer. Also bei American Standard Barrels, also den Bourbonfässern, sind die Stöpsel natürlich alle gleich. Aber so verschiedene Sherry-Bodegas und verschiedene Weinfässer brauchen einfach verschiedene Bungs. Und ja, die sind natürlich sehr wichtig. Jedes Fass, wenn es irgendwann mal ausgeleert wird, wieder befüllt wird, es kriegt jedes Mal einen neuen Stöpsel, einen neuen Bung, damit es gut verschlossen ist. Bei Bunnahabhain sind ca. 15.000 Fässer hier on site. Sie versuchen natürlich auch irgendwo wieder mehr Lagerhauskapazität irgendwo zu finden, damit sie mehr auf der Insel Islay lagern können. Sie müssen auch ein paar andere Fässer von anderen Brennereien annehmen. Einfach, ja, Company Policy, dass es sicher ist, wenn irgendwo was niederbrennt, dass die gesamte Marke nicht sofort ausgelöscht wird. Ja. Das war es erstmal hier mit der Produktion. Jetzt gibt es noch ein kleines Tasting mit den Whiskys. Ja, bleibt dran. Ja, das war's mit der Produktion, und jetzt gibt es noch ein kleines Interview auf Englisch. So this was it with the production, and now we're having a little tasting and interview here in the visitor center. So I'm sitting here with Katie van Capellen.
Yes.
So you're a tour guide here, already 1 year in the distillery.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for showing us around and showing us the whole distillery and telling us
very
everything. Yeah, that was lovely. It's a wonderful distillery.
Oh yeah, I'm very lucky to work here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful place. You just the sound of Islay is just sometimes flows that way, sometimes flows that way.
Yeah, never get tired of the view, especially like with the weather being so changeable. So it's like the view always just changes depending on how the light catches it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's
never boring.
It's a beautiful place, but still it's a bit remote. Yeah. So nice. We talked a lot about whiskey. So what are we having today?
So we're starting off with our 12-year-old. So that'll be the first one that we'll have today. It's our flagship, it's the first single malt whiskey we ever released. So yeah, can't come to Bunnahabhain without trying a little bit of our 12-year-old, I always say. And then we've got the 18 after that, and distillery exclusive, so it's a Warehouse 9 cask, so it's a single cask that we'll be trying after that. A Manzanilla sherry cask, so yeah, always a big fan of the sherry casks over here. And then the last one will be our festival bottle, one of our festival bottles from this year, so it'll be the peated festival bottle that we just released last week. So yeah, very exciting stuff.
Yeah, I'm really excited about what I'm getting here. Well, let's start with the co-range then.
Yes, yes.
So, I think you can pour it.
All right, no worries.
So the 12-year-old, is that, how much sherry is in there?
So it's about 75% sherry matured and 25% bourbon matured. So beautiful little marriage we've got going on there. So as you can see, it's got a beautiful colour to it as well. So that's coming from that sherry as well. So yeah.
So, and that is one of these non-peated ones.
Yes. So the first three are all non-peated. So it's only the last one that'll be peated. We've actually only got one peated whiskey in our core range. So.
Ooh. Oh yeah. That is.
Sherry.
And so beautiful, light and sweet and fruity.
Yes.
And a little bit of nuttiness going on as well.
And that lovely sea salt as well.
Always, if I look at your stills, they're so straight, and I was like, yeah, that must be spicy. But it's always how you work the stills as well.
Yeah.
So if you don't want it to be spicy, I think you can, if you really set your parameters right, you can do a really spicy one. But obviously you don't want to.
Nah, prefer to go for like the lovely, smooth, sweet spices, and then that combination of the kind of the sherry and the bourbon as well, like that lovely kind of vanilla and caramel that you get from that bourbon is just beautiful.
But it's a light one. It's really, you feel it's a sherry touch to it.
Yeah.
You have that bourbon character as a nuance in there. Usually it's just bourbon character with something. This is more of a sherry character with something.
Yeah, well, we always like to say you're Bunnahabhain, we're sherried. Like that's what we're about over here. So even in our 12-year-old, even when we do add a little bit of bourbon, we always want to make sure that sherry is, you know, kind of the star.
Nice. Okay, slide it.
Slide it. Beautiful.
That is sweet and smooth. But it has a bit of that marine touch to it. It has a bit of an Islay touch to it.
Exactly.
Although not peaty, it has a bit of that marine touch to it.
Yeah.
But just a nuance. The sherry, the red fruits, the berries, a little bit of a bourbon touch in there as well. But it has a bit of like, I don't know, seaweed or phenolic, but just as a nuance.
Yeah, and it's like that little touch that, to me, like that's what kind of makes it an Islay whiskey. Like that's what you can really tell it's an Islay whiskey just by that little kind of the sea salt spray. It is just.
I love it. It's. I love it always about the whiskey. It's so different. They're always so different. There's always something different about every distillery.
Yes. Yeah. That's why there's no real like rivalry on the island, because we're all so different. So we're all fans of all the other distilleries as well. So
I think the island is a nice community.
Yeah.
It's just, I love it when you drive on the road and like everybody's like
waving. Yeah.
you just start to do it as well.
Well, it's a small community, so and you know most people are employed by the distilleries as well, so we all get along.
Yeah. So the last time I was here, it was in 2015. So when I came here, it was just feeling different. I couldn't really make out what different was. So you had an expansion. I think it was 2019. You mentioned. So what was like the expansion? What did you do?
So we really needed a new visitor centre.
Oh yeah, the old one was really just up the stairs, really high.
And then we moved into like another like very small tasting room, like closer to the pier. So yeah, we really needed a new visitor centre. So a lot of money went into creating this beautiful little visitor centre we've got over here. So it's been great. So we actually get to enjoy. We get to look at the view as well. We've got windows, so we can kind of enjoy the view a bit more, and people can sit outside and have their jams outside. So yeah, that visitor centre that was built. We were open for 2 weeks before we got to close again because of lockdown. So it's only like now that we're actually really getting to show it off, because people are finally starting to travel again after COVID. But when the other thing that we did is we kind of painted all the walls white as well. So
that was it.
If you visited us before, I think it was 2019 around that time. A lot of, if you look at any of the old, I always say to folk, if you look at any of our old TripAdvisor reviews, the word Alcatraz was mentioned quite a few times. So we really wanted to do something about that and make it look a bit more welcoming, a bit, you know. So yeah, it definitely, I mean, it definitely looks a lot more welcoming and less industrial now.
Yeah, you've done a little refurbishing here and there. You realize that when you come here. I think the stills, two of them, the new spirit still, or not new spirits, so the still stills are polished now.
Yes, yeah. We want to make it look all shiny and nice, you know, like a lot more welcoming than it was before.
Yeah.
But some people miss the old look.
Yeah, I do think, I mean, your gate is still the old stones.
Yes.
And people, at some point where there was like, yeah, you had a bit of a, not concrete, like the walls were a little bit falling down at some place. So I think the white is really good, but I did like the stony touch to it, like with all the stones. But I think both is nice. So if you keep the stone like gate, that's awesome. Yeah,
I think we did a good job at like just like making it look a lot more welcoming, making it look a bit more modern without going over the top. Like it still feels like Bunnahabhain when you come down here, and it's not like the shiny new distillery. It still feels like Bunnahabhain. It's just a little bit more, I don't know, refined, polished. It just looks a bit.
I think if you want to be a modern distillery, you need a lot more glass, steel, and concrete. Yeah. But I think Bunnahabhain is just fine. But you also did the bio.
Yeah, the biomass plant. So we're still in the commissioning stages of it, but yeah, it's good stuff.
That's still ongoing.
Yeah. So, but yeah, we're now burning our draff. So like half of our draff is getting sent to the biomass plant to burn it along with local wood chip, just to produce kind of energy for the distillery. So obviously every distillery, we've all got a target. We all got to make sure we're kind of net zero by, I think it's 2030. But we're the first ones on the island to, you know, get there essentially. So this is what we're doing to, you know, kind of do our bit and, you know, care about sustainability and all that, because, you know, obviously we're going to have to find new ways to be green.
It sounds great. I think these biomass plants are still a bit to test it out. They're a bit hard to manage, but I think they will eventually get in the future to where they want to be.
You can't like improve it without trying it out first, you know. You need to but yeah, again, it's good, especially like we're trying to just reduce our waste in general. So
yeah, that's a good thing. You don't have waste, and you do have energy out of that. So it's win-win. Although the cattle will get enough.
Yeah. I mean, I have never seen an unhappy cow in Islay, so they're all very happy. They get plenty of draft from all the other distilleries. There's 9 at the moment, but there'll be 10 soon. So plenty of
and all the output is getting up, so that they will get enough draft.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I think I had the 18 before. You want to pour?
Yes, of course.
And I think that was I think we already gave it a little bit of an award, I think.
Oh.
I think the Bunnahabhain 18 was, and as I can see, this probably have a really high sherry content.
Well, it's all sherry.
It's all
sherry.
All
sherry.
High
so all of the older Bunnahabhains are all sherry matured, because well, the ones in our Korean jar anyway. So this is all Oloroso sherry matured. So Oloroso, very rich, fruity, sweet sherry, and this is my favourite Bunnahabhain whiskey. The 18-year-old. It is. I always say I think this is dangerously good. I can't just have 1 dram of it. I always get a bottle just to and I want to kind of keep it as long as I can, but I always just end up finishing it sooner than I want to.
The Bunnahabhain 18, dangerously sipping good. Yeah, it's just something with the sherry that is just amazing.
I think any Bunnahabhain aged in Oloroso sherry, it is always a recipe for success. It just works so well with our spirit.
Yeah, and the thing is, 18 to 21 is just perfect time for Scotch whiskey. Yeah. If it's aged like in a really Dunwich style Islay environment, then 18 to 21 is just so well in terms of the perfect timing.
Yes.
That's a bit more intense than I remembered. So, slange?
Slange of it. Oh. So incredibly rich.
You have a good amount more of that fruitiness, but the fruitiness is not as fresh as in the 12 years. It's much more dried fruitiness, dark fruitiness, grapes.
Yeah.
A little bit of a chocolatey note going on. Oh, that is intense. Are you all going with 46.3? That's your thing, right?
So 46.3%. All of our core-range whiskies are 46.3%.
Oh, I love it.
And all the colouring as well, it's we do not add any artificial colourings in our whiskies. So all that colour is just coming from those beautiful Oloroso sherry casks. So yeah, it's just, it's one of those jams. It's beautiful to look at and even better to drink.
That is nice. Oh, I love it. So your logo is kind of a helmsman. Yeah. Excuse me. So what's the story behind that?
So Bunnahabhain, we've got a kind of interesting, interesting history. So we were built in 1881, and back when they built the distillery, the only way to get here would have been by boat as well. So so they kind of built a little community here, like a little village here. They had a little school, they had a shop here, so just to house all the distillery workers. So yeah, Bunnahabhain, that's the kind of the helmsman's a kind of little kind of nod to the past, but also I don't know if you've heard of the song Westering Home.
Oh yeah.
So it's a very nice song. I think it was originally sung by the Corries, so definitely check it out. And it's a song about Islay and sailing to Islay. It's a bit of a nod to that. So
bringing on all the sherry casks and so that's why you really didn't have a road. That is really a different story if you don't have a road to the town. It's just a secluded town without a road. Interesting. Yeah, it must have been a much different feeling back then.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Even now, I mean, our road is a long way down here.
Oh, it is, and a bit of a bumpy one as well.
It's a bit of a bumpy one. But that wasn't built until the 1960s. So
1960s? Yeah. Ah, okay. Ooh, that is quite a long time without the road.
Yeah.
Okay. So the next one you said is a Marzanilla.
Yes, so this is one of our Warehouse 9 maturations. So it's a distillery exclusive, always exciting. So what we do in our Warehouse 9 is we'll have casks in there that we'll use for the Warehouse 9 tastings. People can try it straight from the tap casks, but we'll also fill these bottles on site as well. So they're only sold here, and this was a full maturation in a Manzanilla sherry cask. So just one single cask. Obviously the 12 and the 18-year-old, they're marriages of multiple casks, together, and this is just one cask. So if you...
Is it also 63.6?
No, so this is cask strength. We do not dilute them at all. So this one is 58.6%.
Okay.
So I hope you had a good lunch.
I did. Yeah. Yeah, if you want to have one of these bottles, you have to get to Islay and have to do the visitor tour. But they do change regularly.
They do change. Yeah. Obviously, once a cask is empty, a new one will take its place, and it's always very sad when they leave us.
But there's always one available.
There's always like a new one available as well. So So, but it keeps it interesting for us as well,
Yeah, it's always the thing when you have these limited edition or distillery exclusive or single cask, then at some point you do get something that you really love and you can't get that anywhere else, but it is just a point of time and it will be gone in the future at some point.
Yeah. And the fun part with single cask is every cask is different. So we'll have sister casks available sometimes too, and every cask will just have its own kind of unique flavour. So yeah, just because something was aged in the same type of cask for the same length of period, or even in the same warehouse, doesn't mean that it's going to taste the same in the end. So sometimes you get a few really nice or like interesting surprises as well.
Oh yeah, That's nice. Yeah, that's the cool thing. Maybe you can't have that anymore, but there's always something new coming up.
Yeah.
And that is the beauty of it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's about whiskey. You have so many differences. You can even have differences between such a small thing as a cask.
Yeah.
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 Ooh. Is Mazzanilla, is that like a semi-dry or dry? Or
it's a dry sherry. It's a very pale,
sherry,
dry sherry. It's quite similar to a Fino sherry.
Okay.
But it's just a bit more, it's a bit racier, it's a bit more salty as well because it's made right by the sea. Obviously, we've aged this right by the sea as well, so you might pick up on some extra salt.
Okay.
It's also very quite a floral dram as well.
Yeah,
so
definitely. It's strange that I expected something like 18 dried fruits, and it's nice floral, fresh. A little bit of that, Islay touch to it, as you said. See, a bit of iodine in there, but just the nuance on that. Oh, I love it.
Definitely.
Love it. Yeah, it's totally different to the 18 and the 12 now.
Well, that's why I thought it'd be interesting to kind of compare, because a lot of the times people do kind of they're surprised when I tell them this is sherry, because obviously it is very light in colour, but sherry comes on a spectrum, so
yeah, sherry is not sherry. It's like scotch is not scotch. There's tons of different scotch.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. It's so light and fresh.
Yeah.
No.
Slajowa.
Slajowa.
Mm.
58 has a quite kick.
Yeah, it is quite crisp as well. But
I'll have some water with my next sip then.
That's all right.
Oh, that is, but that is sweeter than I expected.
There's still a bit of a sweetness to it, which is it gives like a nice balance. You know, there's a lovely balance between the sweetness and the dryness of it, which I love. To me, this just tastes like summer. So just imagine drinking this on a beach somewhere with a little bit of cheese or something.
Yeah, it has a bit of a, when you first have it in your mouth, it has a bit of a bourbon touch to it, but then it turns into something flowery or something fresh, fruity that is usually not associated with the bourbon cask. So it really has a touch to it. Yeah, I love these single casks. I don't drink them often enough because they have just a unique way of showing stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, just a smidge of water just opens it up and makes it even much more sweeter and a bit rounder as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, 58 is just a bit over my usual zone. I tend to go with 52, 54, and then I usually do a bit of water in there.
Yeah, we have one that's 61% as well, so it's we're not messing around here.
Oh yeah. So the next one is Face Ale. Tell me a bit about the Face Ale as a festival.
So
you're an islander, right?
Yeah. Well, I've lived here for the last 4 years.
Oh, okay.
Face Ale, best time, or busiest time to come to Islay. Best time if you love crowds and music and whiskey. If you don't like big crowds, don't come during the festival week. So festival week, last week of May, every single year. So all the distilleries will have like big open days. So it's a whiskey and music festival. So there'll be live performances and lots of whiskey. Lots and lots of whiskey.
So how's the atmosphere around on the island?
Oh, it is so, I mean, for the tourists, it's great. It's like very exciting stuff, but I think a lot of locals get a bit scared around that time. So the week before festival, you'll see like a lot of people like lining up at the co-op with big trolleys and just buy everything, just stock up so they don't have to leave their house during the festival time. So it gets really, really busy. Obviously, Islay, small island, small community, so about 3,500 people live here, and around festival time I think it goes up to like 17,000 or something ridiculous like that.
Where do these people all stay?
Well, there'll be camper vans, tents. People, they'll rent like Airbnb houses, but they'll have like 70,000 people living in one house. So staying in one house, so
everything is sold out during the festival.
Yeah, everything is sold out during the festival. So people actually have to pre-book it like 2-3 years in advance sometimes if they want to come over. Yeah, but again,
I've seen the Karl Mack ferries. They have I think a special shipping plan for ferries. Due to the festival, we have the following shippings as well.
Yes, so you have to, if you do want to come over around festival time, you have to be very well prepared. But it's definitely worth it, and every distillery will release a few like special releases.
Okay.
And this is one of our special releases from this year.
Okay.
And it just came out a bit earlier this year, so it came out last week already.
Okay.
And this is a peated whiskey.
Ooh.
So
the peated one you mentioned.
So we always release a peated one around the festival time as well, just to give people like kind of the best of both worlds, you know. And so this is a Monja triple cask. So Monja is Gaelic for peat or smoke. If you see most Bunnahabhains that are peated will have that word on it as well. So if you see a Bunnahabhain whiskey out there that's got the word Monja written on it, it's spelt M-O-I-N-E. That is Gaelic for peat. So this is a Monja triple cask. So I'll give you a wee pour of that, and then I'll...
So you said that was like, is it 40 ppm then?
Yes, around that.
Okay.
Yeah. There we go.
Oh, that bottle is going well, huh?
Yeah. I mean, we've had lots of people and wanted a taste of it. So this is actually the second time I'm trying this because it only came out last week. So I'm really excited to have another wee taste of it. It was delicious when I tried it last week. So looking forward to it. So we've gone for a triple cask this year. So we've got the easiest way to explain it is to start with the bourbon. So bourbon is one of the 3 casks, and the bourbon was a full maturation in ex-bourbon casks. Then we also have Oloroso, which was a finish. So it was in American oak and then put into a bourbon cask in 2000. American oak and then put into an Oloroso sherry cask in 2013. And then we also have a rum cask finish as well.
And the rum cask.
Yes.
Okay, that is a strange triple.
Yes, so we've got Oloroso, bourbon and rum.
Okay.
And so what they're trying to do like with this one was trying to create like this kind of lovely like rum and raisin ice cream.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like a mixture.
So that was what they were going for, and yeah, it is.
And combination with that 40 ppm is just giving it so much difference to the others. It's just amazing. I love it. I think that will be a hit on the island, on the festival.
Oh yeah, I'm loving it. Just by it, and you get those kind of like those light kind of tropical notes on the nose as well, like a bit of pineapple maybe, like from the rum. I'm definitely excited, like see more rum finishes as well.
Oh yeah,
it's always keeps it interesting.
Yeah, it's fresh again, but a different kind of fresh. I love it how it can. This one is fresh and fruity. This one is fresh and fruity, but I'm really struggling to explain that how it is more fresh and fruity.
Yeah,
because it's a bit. Yeah, with more cask comes more complexity and more difficulty to explain.
Yeah.
Oh, but I like it.
Yeah. Slash it. There you go. Oh.
I like it that you have the peatiness is there, but it's a bit separate from that Islay touch. It has the same Islay touch as, let's say, the 18 or the 12, so it doesn't really come from that phenolic peatiness, but from more, I would guess, maturation. And it has that fresh fruitiness and a little bit of that sweetiness, maybe that rum sweetiness in there as well. I love that.
Yeah, and what I love about our peated whiskey as well is like it doesn't quite like slap you in the face as well.
Yeah, it doesn't.
It's more of a kind of aftertaste. So get that initial like sweetness from the rum and the Oloroso and bourbon, but then you get that lovely kind of smoke at the back, just to leave you nice and warm. Yeah, I love the way that they are, just that effect that the peated whiskey has on the.
All about the peatiness builds.
Yeah.
So when you have the second sip, then it builds on the first sip. So yeah, it doesn't slap you in the face. It builds up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people tend to forget that you don't just have like the southern island peatiness of Islay. You have the other the other levels of peatiness that are all around the island, and that is like a nice medium peaty. It doesn't feel quite 20. Okay, it's 17 years. That is also losing a bit peatiness in there. I like it. It's a well-balanced, complex whiskey. I think that is going to really hit the festival well.
I just have to say, I think our master blender, Julianne, she does a great job at just picking out these casks and just knowing like what is going to work together very well. Yeah, that combination of those 3 casks, it's just beautiful. It just melts in your mouth. It's like, to me, it reminds me a little bit of like a creme brulee.
Yeah, something like that. Now that I have it in my mouth a bit longer, in the back of my mouth, it's really sweet. In the front of my mouth, there's just the peat smoke staggering. I like it. I like it. And you're going, oh, 52.
Yeah, 52%. So again, so lovely cash strength.
For 52%, it's quite round.
Yeah, definitely. But again, if you do want to add a drop of water.
No, I'm fine. 52 is good. And that is really, really nice. Yeah, so that was our range. Yeah. Thank you very much for having us at the distillery.
Well, thank you for coming to visit us.
Yeah, and thank you for all the whiskey and explaining all the stuff to us. Yeah, so yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you very much for watching. If you found this video interesting, then please feel free to share it with your friends, and see you next time.